Jai Gurudev. My name is Adyitya Ananda. I'm from Switzerland. And I used to be an IT professional a long time ago. And I always tried to help people. So that was always my aim. When I was 21, I was really bad with my health. And I didn't know what happened to me. I was on an island on Gomera, and I was really sick. And I went out to the veranda. You know, I had a house really high, and I shouted to the whole island, "But in this life, I want to find my guru." And I was so shocked because I didn't know what it means, guru and all these things. It just came out of me, and I was shocked what I was saying. And when I was about 26, I got my first picture of Yogananda, and somehow it changed my life, because it was my first connection with a picture that reacted to me. And after this, I read the autobiography of a yogi. And this really touched me so deep inside. I wanted to live a life like Yogananda was describing it. I wanted to have my guru, because in this moment I realized this is all I want in my life. And I think the change started. I was looking for a guru, but how to find it? The first step was I met a devotee of Guruji on a camping event. And it was an astonishing experience, because I never met someone who had this love and this love, yeah. I only felt her love and her compassion, and I was astonished. And when I left, I wanted to say goodbye, but I could not remember her name. And then I went up into my flat, and there I had a picture of Satya Sai Baba on my altar, and I was standing there and I wanted to talk to him, but I was completely empty. I had no words, no thoughts. I didn't know what happened to me. I was completely empty. And after a while, I started to laugh, because I knew now he found me. I was looking how I can get in connection with him, and then I found out that there is a darshan, and I wanted to be on the darshan with him. But it was 1 month away from this time, but before, it was a few days after this happening, I woke up in the morning and I had a special feeling. I felt like I've been on the Gayatri Yagna. And I didn't know about the Gayatri Yagna, but I had this feeling inside of me. And it stayed the whole day. And I was not dreaming about it. It just felt like I really was part of this. So I started to think about it. After 2 days, I thought maybe this means that I have to be part of this Gayatri Yagna. I wrote an email to Sri Pita Nilaya to find out if it's still possible to be part of the Gayatri Yagna. And they didn't react to me. And I needed to know. And this person also gave me a small picture of Guruji, and I had it on my altar. And I didn't know, and I had to decide. So I went to this picture and I said, I don't like to ask you for things like this, but I need to know if I'm supposed to be there. And this short conversation felt very intense in a way, but I didn't know what happened. And so I looked to my email, and now I've got an answer from Sri Pita Nilaya. And they said, everything is okay, just come, you can book it here, everything is easy. So I came to Sri Pita Nilaya. I had such an intense time on this Gayatri Yagna, and it was so funny because I didn't know about all these things, how they are. We made all these yagnas and all this chanting, that was all new to me. I just knew that I knew the mantra, the Gayatri mantra. That was my first mantra that came into my life some years before, just by like this. So I felt comfortable with it. I was the first Prabhu there because I wanted to be the first one in there to meet my Guru. And I was standing there and waiting, and when Guruji came in, he walked towards me, and when he passed me, he just gave me one look into my eyes. And then I knew it, I just knew it. He is my Guru, he's my Guru Dev. And it was all I was waiting for, my whole life actually. And since then, my life changed completely. After some hour clapping and singing, I couldn't move my fingers anymore because they were all swollen. I decided to sleep for 20 minutes. So I went to sleep for 20 minutes, and I got up again, and my hands were good, and people saw me coming into the tent again, and they looked at me and said, "What happened to you? You look like you've slept for 8 hours." So I was very astonished how all this energy and all these things happened there. And this Gayatri Yagna, then after this 27 hours, it was such an intense energy, and I realized that I changed completely. I started to live as a brahmachari from this moment. I stopped smoking and all these other things. I just stopped there because I knew when I met Guruji, all the past life, all these things is just past. And so I had this strong longing to be a brahmachari. So I wanted to ask Guruji, and Guruji came to Switzerland in 2016 for the Darshan tour. And that was the first time that I was close to Guruji. We went to the Blause, and there he invited us for ice cream, And it was I was eating ice cream with him, he offered it. It was so special for me. And then we had tea with him on the Simplon, and then we went down to Ticino. And because he made me come closer to him, I had more courage because I wanted to ask him to be a brahmachari, but I was so afraid of it. But like this, I felt comfortable, and in Losone, I asked him to be a brahmachari. And it was in September, the 4th of September, and the 2nd of October, I became a brahmachari. I was on the Navaratri, and the second day of Navaratri, Brahmacharini Day, I got initiated by Gurudev as a brahmachari. I went out in the evening for a short walk, and when I went out, I felt that someone was walking behind me, and that was really strange for me this time. And I didn't know what it was. I just walked maybe 200 meters, and I felt that something is happening to me. I had problems with the heart rhythm, so I was used to, when it gets dark, I have to sit down quickly. So I sat down, but I realized it's not getting dark, it's getting lighter and lighter. So I realized something is strange. after a while, I had no more feeling in my body. And after a while, I realized I will never get back home again. And in this moment, something special happened to me, just like something was changing. I had only one thought in my mind: now this is the time to ask Gurudev for help. And I asked him for help. And after a while, I was able to walk back home. And I came to my place and I was incredibly happy, and I didn't know why. I didn't know what happened to me, because I felt quite good. And after 3 days, I realized that I have this pain in my chest. And I thought, wow, that must be a heart attack. So I called my doctor, and I went there with the taxi, and he told me, you had a heart attack and I have to ask the ambulance. And so he called the ambulance, and they brought me to the hospital. And it was such a special experience for me, because in the ambulance, they did professional jobs with me, but I didn't feel any fear or pain, or I felt completely safe. And that was astonishing. And this was the same in the hospital. It was not a strange place for me. It was like home there. And one lady of the team came to me and said, oh, I know you from somewhere, but I never saw her before. And the next step was when they worked on my heart, when they made the operation. And there again, one lady came to me and said, I know you from somewhere. So I always felt so in good hands, maybe I can call it. And I realized in all this that in the moment where most people are afraid of losing their life, I felt very good and I felt very safe. Actually, I never felt so protected and safe like in this moment. So I realized that all these fears of losing my life was not real. When I came back from the hospital, I came in contact with another fear because I had not enough money for the month. So this fear came up again, and then I realized this cannot be true. I was not having fear when I was on the point of losing my life, but now with not enough money, I come into this fear again. That could not be real. So I had to change it. And this experience with my heart attack and losing all my fears helped me to find this new life. And the first step was, I was a DJ since young age, and I always liked to change the moods of people, the energy of people with good music. But actually I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to sing and play for them, but I was afraid to do it. But after this experience, I thought, wow, maybe now it's the time. And I started to play harmonium, and I started to sing, and we built a band. And after 3 weeks, we had the first concert. And now it feels like I'm complete again. I remember when I was 5 years old, I still had this feeling of being whole, you know. But I lost it after this, and that was the thing that was missing in my life. There was always one big part missing. And now nothing is missing. This part is my Gurudev, and now he's with me again. So I'm complete. And it was just the first step, but now all these steps are not into my hands, it's in his hands. So everything changed. I found everything that I was looking for. And I'm still alive. And I'm open to everything that comes now.